Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Life, Music, and Everything Else. I am your host, Sin. I want to take this big time right now to thank everybody that checked out the podcast. I'm very appreciative of you taking your time out to listen to a 30-minute podcast from a guy that you probably don't know. So that's very, very important to me. Thank you so much for taking out that time. Also, I want a big hand clap. I want a celebration because I have my first sponsor. So that's good news. I have my first sponsor. So ladies and gentlemen, real quick, if you mention this, Life, Music, and Everything Else ad, go to Escape Star Visions and you will have 15% off of any kind of video package that you choose, all right? Escape Star Vision, they do commercials, short films, music videos, documentaries, any kind of thing that you need video-wise, any kind of work that you need video-wise, please go there. I have the link in the description. The name is Escape Star Vision. So shout out to my first sponsor. And anybody else want to sponsor, feel free to join us. Anyway, today's podcast is starting your own business. And I want to introduce my guest. Well, I'll let my guest introduce himself. Please take over.
So my name is John Carter, and I started John Carter Bathrooms LLC, small business. I owned it for about 4 years, and we're still doing good. Still getting things done for people, making people happy with their bathrooms. Just doing my own thing. Been doing it, and I'm really happy about it.
Okay. What did you do before John Carter Bathrooms?
Well, before John Carter Bathrooms, me and Sean actually worked at the bus plant.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got lots of stories.
Crazy stories. Crazy.
But anyways, with the bus plant, one of the reasons I wanted to get out is because I was a welder back then, and I was just working and doing my best and training people. But anyways, I got to a point where they put me in a small little area, kind of boxed off from everybody else. And I was in there one day, and I was like, man, I'm really in a box now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this it for my life? Is this what I want for myself? You know, just working at the same place, coming to doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing really changed for me. And I was like, man, this is not gonna be making my life any better. Mm-hmm. So, and that's when I decided, okay, I'm getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I remember those days, and I remember you leaving. I had no idea what you had in store, but I remember you leaving, and then when we hooked back up later, you had started 3 companies. So I want to just dive right into it. If I'm right now at the point that you are right now, the point that I'm at right now, I've always worked for somebody else. If I want to start a business or start something on my own, what would be the first thing that you would advise someone to do?
Choose your business. It's you want to do a little bit of research in just things that are interesting to you, just so you can find out what it's about. Maybe even work in that field for a little bit, just so that you can know that you can do it long term. That's really important. Is that because you don't really want to start a business, because I've done it before. I started several companies, and the cleaning company I started was like, I was making a little bit of money, but I don't like it too much.
You didn't like it, yeah.
And so it wasn't really something I was gonna, interested in doing over and over. So I just didn't, keep going with that.
Yeah. So you say, be passionate or just love what it is that you want to start a company with?
I mean, at least like.
At least like.
Because the thing is it's like in a relationship. Love doesn't come the first day.
Yeah.
Like is first. And then because you're continuously keep going, then eventually love develops after some time. But yeah, like it first, like it enough to want to do it for a couple of years. I mean, like in a relationship with somebody, you wanna like the person enough, you wanna know enough about this person.
Yeah, definitely.
So before you invest your whole future into it.
Yeah. Okay. So now I've chose the company that I like, that I can see a future with, and that I want to start. What's my next step?
Your next step would be you kind of want to make a plan. just a small little plan, write something up. It's not like a big detailed business plan. Most, you know, colleges will tell you write a business plan, but then these self-help guru type of the guys that are like, nah, don't forget out the business plan. I never wrote a risk plan. I didn't do any of this stuff. Well, I say that, you know, you want to write something down just to give you an idea. Just it helps you with ideas.
Yeah.
Just putting something
Yeah.
on paper is like, I want to do this business. This is how I'm going to get my customer, and that gives you something more just on paper that you can look at, so that you can have an idea.
Of where you're going and
Yep.
what you're focused on. So
Yep.
we're gonna have these listed out. So the first thing, choose your company. The second thing that you want to do is make a plan. Make a plan, make a guideline, make a plan for you to look at every day and follow. Now, as I'm looking at this and I'm following that, what's my next course of action?
Well, I just threw this in there as like the third thing is you want to be open to fail, because after those things, you know,
Yeah.
after you've chosen your business, you've gotten to that point, which takes a little bit of time to get to the point choosing the business, because everybody's like, I don't know if this works, I don't know if that works.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be out there, but I mean, it's simpler than you think. You know, you can make a donut shop. You know, it's like, I like donuts. I like making donuts. I think I like giving donuts, for
Yeah.
example. But anyway, so you've got to a point of choosing your business, making a plan, and then the next thing is you want to know that you have to be open to fail.
Before we move on any further, let's talk about that point, because I feel like in my life, being scared to fail kept me from even trying for so long. How important is it to tell our listeners and to let our listeners know that failure, in other words, is a learning experience? It's not the end of the world.
You know, I recently had a baby, and
Congratulations to Maximus. Welcome to the world, son.
so I'm gonna use that example for example. So if Maximus, you know, he's gonna start walking one day soon.
Yeah.
So if Maximus is too scared to actually stand up and fall, he would never ever learn how to walk.
Wow.
And so that's why you want to be open to fail, because if you're never going to actually try to make that first step, you're never going to learn how to do it. You're just going to stay the same way.
Stay the same way. And that was big when we first started talking.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you looked me in my eyes, you told me, you said, Sean, 6 years, you know, you gotta try something. So I want to pass that along on the podcast. Try it. Whatever it may have been that you looked off or you wrote off, or try it. Try it. Oh, be open to fail. It's only going to lead to ultimately your success. So where do we go from there?
So next thing is you want to get started on you know, doing the paperwork, filing for the business. You want to you know, with your state. You want to file with sos.gov, you know, the sos.ok.gov if you're in Oklahoma, or if you're in California, sosca.gov. You go to the section of filing your business, and you basically just go and do a name search for your business. So you choose a name, no matter what the name is, because at the end of the day, you make the name. You create the content for it, what your business is about. So, but just be, you know, try to make sure it's has something to do in relationship to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because then if people are looking for you online, then they can, you know, it's like, this guy's going to be in construction. Well, something construction will help out, because people are going to be looking for construction company, for example. So you choose your name, you do a name search, you see everything is good, you can choose that name. Then you go ahead forward and you just file your business right then and there. The steps are really straightforward on there. Just take those steps, do it. I think you pay $100.
SOS.gov.
sos.ok.gov if it's Oklahoma.
And this is to get your business legit, to file it with your state.
Yeah, this is the Secretary of State. SOS.
Yeah.
And that'll help you just do that type of stuff, the paperwork. Once you've done that and you've got your business name, they'll send a week or so later, they'll send you a certificate showing that you have filed on this date and that date. You've paid, and they'll give you the name of your business on a certificate that you can use. Once you've gotten that piece of paper, then your next step would be to go on irs.gov and just get a business EIN or apply for a business EIN so that you can actually have a tax number whenever you're having to do taxes, because with doing business you want to make sure you do the tax part too, because that's really important.
Very.
Yeah. And don't let these little things scare you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let them scare
Most people do. Don't let it. So get over your fear. Get over your fear of failing. Get out there and try it. If you want to start something and do something on your own, don't let the tax discourage you, because you're going to have to pay some money. It takes money to make money.
Yeah, and know that in the first 3 years of your business, you can show a loss. So showing a loss, for example, is like, let's say you have to invest money to buy materials or buy a vehicle or buy the stuff that you do in business with. You can, all that stuff's write-offs. If you're doing business out of your home and you're having an office of a certain square space, then basically that could be a tax write-off as well. That's going to go off. If you have phone bills that you're going to work with, that's a tax write-off. If you have a vehicle that you're using back and forth, if you're using it 50% for yourself and 50% for the business, once again, that's a tax write-off. And so at the end of the day, there's all these write-offs that you can have, which is going to be putting you into negative, for example. And then if you did make some type of money, then basically you're not going to really pay as much taxes. And for the first 2 years, I didn't show any profit. Reason being is, like, if I had any kind of profit, I took that money and just reinvested into the business, because I didn't want to give.
Was this the first company that you started?
Yeah, I don't want to give money to for the taxes, because you either use it for the business and do something with it, or you pay the government. Yeah. But you're gonna pay something.
You're gonna take that. So my thing was in the beginning of before I even started to try to get involved in something and start the business that eventually we're gonna start, was not having a business savvy, not having a business knowledge, just being basically a worker all my life, working for somebody, under somebody. So I never had the mentality, I wouldn't say the mentality, I've always had it was just buried deep down. I never had the knowledge or the knowings of all these things that you was talking about. So for someone that don't know about the tax stuff, or that hears this information and just becomes overwhelmed, and they put it off, is now still a good time for a person that don't know, that don't have the knowledge, to say, look, it's a great time now for you to start, find out the information where you can get and educate yourself, and you don't have to put it off now. Because I know a lot of people put off when you hear all that. Oh, you got to do this, you got to file here, you got to mail this and mail. They say, you know what, the heck with it.
Yeah, I've got an answer for that. It happened the first time I started business, because I had no idea. I didn't have any money to go to a lawyer, because when you go to a lawyer, they can help you. It's going to cost some money, $800 or something like that. Then they can get you going on all the paperwork and all that stuff. But I didn't have all of that. So I was like, I'm going to start a business. And that was my thoughts. I was like, I'm going to start a business. And so the next day I was like, okay, I'm not going to leave this computer until I've started the business.
Yeah.
Okay? I just sat there, read everything that I needed to read. I went on SBA.gov, which is Small Business Association of Small Businesses of America. Something like that. I'm not familiar with which it is, but anyways, it's SBA.gov, and that'll help you. That they give you step by step over there. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do, and filing the business and doing all that stuff. Just like we're just giving you this advice right now, this is what you need to do. But they done the same thing, and that's how I read all these things, and I just followed the steps. I just did everything that they said I needed to do, and everything was good from there. I just had to follow. I just had to sit down, make a choice, and do it.
Determinate. You have to be determined.
Yeah.
You have to have. So big part of that is being determined. People have the determination to sit there, even if you're like me in the sense that didn't know what to file your business as, what forms to fill out, what forms to request for. That's just stuff that you have to sit down and figure it out. Take the time to learn it. When we start at a job, you don't necessarily know everything that it is that you're doing. You got to
Yeah.
do it repeatedly, and you got to learn it. So the same thing far as starting your own. That we're in a time now where it's important to start your own, to have something to pass on down to your kids and for your legacy. So we're just trying to put out the steps, some of the steps that he took to start a successful company for the people on the podcast to listen to. Hopefully you can catch some gems and or even maybe just get the determination to want to do it, to get the drive to want to do it, because it's up to you. It's ultimately up to you. So after they filed and they put they notion in for their paperwork, where would they be now in the?
Now you need to figure out some type of accounting software. That's a mistake I'd made in the beginning. I never did really any accounting software in the beginning. I just did a bunch of stuff in Excel. I would make my bids, print it off, give it to the customer, and money would just go to my bank. End of the year comes around, I just try to keep most of my receipts and stuff, but it's crazy at the end of the year when you have to like count everything up, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I need to change something. I need to like be more accountable with this, and so I got me QuickBooks.
Yeah.
And that really helped with my bidding when I was doing the bids. That helped with the customers' payments that you were being able to receive, and then also your account is hooked up to it. So getting a business account obviously is the next step. It's just so that you can keep your personal finances separate from your business finances, and that just helps you a lot at the end of the year when it comes around to taxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting the business account, bank account, so that you can file that properly, and then also getting accounting software just to keep accounting software makes things a lot easier for you because you can use it on your phone, and you can bill customers, you can receive payments, do all that stuff, and everything is nicely checked in place. And when you eventually take your paperwork and your stuff to go do your taxes, everything's already in order.
Yeah. So you're believing in the income, you're believing in the business, you're believing in the customers. So you're just preparing yourself for when that money starts to come in.
Yeah.
To stay organized, to stay on top of it. So when you guys when we start this off top, have that positive mindset. Put it out there in the air. You're going to get customers. You're going to get looks. You're going to get money. And start preparing yourself for when the do come in. Because the worst thing to do, I would say in my situation, was to start and expect something but not be equipped if it does come. You're not equipped to handle it. You're not stable to handle it. And then you crash down. So start as you expect. Start as you expect. I expect this. So start and build yourself so when it comes, you're able to adjust and take advantage of the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? With whatever company it is that you start. So I think that's very important.
Yeah. So the next step would be obviously when you got this accounting software and all that stuff. The next step is to sell.
Yeah.
Nobody gets paid
Money,
until
money.
somebody sells something.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
That's really the truth. If you're not taking the steps to sell something, like doing a little bit of advertising, reaching out to your friends and family, obviously to them first because they can give you reviews, but you're going to sell something. So if you're choosing a business, you got to keep this in mind. It's a hobby. If you're spending a lot of money into it and you're not getting anything out of it, but if you're getting something out of it, if money comes out of it, it's a business. And so then it's not a hobby anymore. And but that means that you're actually selling something that people want. Because if the people don't want it, don't even try to do it, because it's not gonna. You're gonna keep putting money into it, and then it's a hobby.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yep.
Well, where we at next?
So now you've got your business going. You started selling. You're busy selling, and you're just working every day, and you're just making money, and it's good. It's a good feeling. The thing that you dreamed up, your ideas, everything's starting to work together.
Yes.
And you're selling, and you're making money and everything. But now you neglect your family. Because you're like, I'm making money right now. I'm just gonna, next customer. You're trying to please customers. You don't say no to them, so you're just working a lot, and eventually your health start going down because you're devoting so much time in that, because you're not working out, because you're just doing a business, Or for example, your friendships go down because you're so busy, and then you don't have any fun anymore. So uh, in order to keep your life balanced, you want to manage your time. So I learned from a company that coached me. They taught me about the F6 goals, and it's they help with the F6 goals. Anyways, the F6 goals, first of all, is faith. You gotta have faith, and you gotta do something for it. Go to church or something just to keep your spiritual life in a balance. Next thing would be is family. You gotta make time for family. So you gotta schedule some time for your family. Like if you have a spouse, you wanna make sure that you put time in your calendar that's just dedicated to them, so that you can go on your dates, so that you can keep your relationships going, right? And time for your kids if you have kids, because everything's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
Next thing is finance. You need to devote some time towards looking at your finances all the time, so that that you make sure you don't go into big time debts or make big time debts. Because I'm currently going through something like that. I've made some business decisions that made me go into some scary debts, and I have to pay these things off right now, and and that's due partly because I didn't dedicate time into looking at my finances and what's important.
Finances, yeah.
I took some advice from people. It's like, oh, you need to make more debt because you want to do this. Sometimes you don't want to make more debt. You want to go slow too. Sometimes you just want to just blow up, and then eventually you find out that you have no foundation, to get you going.
Yeah.
So dedicate some time to looking at your finances, maybe every day or every week. Next thing would be fitness. You gotta make time to work out one time a week.
Yeah.
Or not you. When you get real busy with family, friends, you really don't have that much time. So you want to do a couple of times a week, but you want to dedicate some time towards your fitness, because before I started the business, I used to go to the gym all the time, like 6-7 days a week. I just liked going there because it was good. I listened to some music.
Yeah.
And I was able to keep my health in a good state. But when you start dedicating a lot of time to something, you like doing it, and you have all these customers, and you're saying to yourself, I'm doing this because I'm doing it for my family, but then eventually your health goes down.
Yeah.
Next thing is friendships. Of the F6 goals is you want to also dedicate some time to your friends, because so let's say you become really wealthy, or let's say you're not becoming really wealthy. You don't want to lose friends because you're not spending time or making time for them. Because if you're going through something difficult, then they're there to support you. Or if you're going really well, you want to share your spoils with somebody. Yeah.
So that just to touch a tad bit on that. That was so important, because like when you threw that in there, I'm thinking, I know my listeners probably thinking, okay, this is start a business, and you going off, and you getting your business mindset ready, or this, I'm going to put in all these hours and this and that, and then you come with these F6 goals, and it places everything in a right perspective.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, that's, I learned that really helped me to just get my own life on a balance, just because, you forget. You forget about the important things.
Yeah.
And without the balance, if you're not balanced in your personal life, then you won't ever be successful in your business, because you might go through a divorce if you're like not spending time with relationship, and then you'd lose your business anyways.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, or you come to work and you're just not in a mentally right state to handle your business or to work with customers or all that kind of stuff.
And we hear it, when we was at the Thrive and just looking at all those entrepreneurs and those successful businessmen and some of the quotes that they were saying it. And if you these people reach the peak of business, entrepreneurship, richness, money, all of that, and some of the things that they were saying was just some of the simplest things that they wish they could have changed while they climbing this corporate ladder, or they trying to get to the top of the world as far as business wise. And the F6 goals is valuable to follow, and I'm definitely going to make sure I list those up there. So go ahead.
So the last one of the F6 goals is fun. you want to have some fun. Like you wanna take some time, go somewhere, take some of the money that you've made, and
Yeah.
just go have some fun. Whatever it is for you. I
Hmm.
don't know what you like doing, but just go have. I don't go gambling. You don't
Yeah,
wanna
don't.
take your hard-earned money and just
Blow.
for the lack of a better word, pee it away.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you don't wanna you don't wanna take your hard work and just waste it because you wanna use it for your future. Because with businesses goes up and down, depending on what your mental state is most of the time. Because if you're like reason businesses go down is because you're not doing enough marketing, or you're not putting yourself out there and just getting in front of people's faces, telling them about your product and selling yourself.
yeah.
You might be slacking that area, and then your business eventually slacks
Slacks.
later
Yeah.
on because you didn't line up the new jobs. But anyways, you want to have some fun. Make sure to have some fun too, because at the end of the day, it ain't easy, because now you've gone from having a job, working for somebody else. I listened to somebody said, I heard something on YouTube the other day. A job is an acronym for just, ordinary, and boring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you come from just ordinary and boring. You're doing
Yeah.
something, you know what I'm saying? And eventually, it might become a job because just it's hard. So you wanna make sure you have some fun too and make it all worth it, because at the end of the day, work is work. You're
Work
gonna
is
have to
work.
dedicate time to this, and so the more you like it, the more you're into it, the easier it is to do it. And if you do, honestly, lots of people say this: if you do something that you love doing, you're passionate about it, it's not
Don't
even
feel.
work.
Yeah, it don't feel like work at all.
Yeah.
At all. Wow. That it's usually during every podcast where I feel like, man, this was the point that I wish my listeners would get to. Like, it almost like I want to start the podcast with the F6 goals because they so valuable. You know what I mean?
Oh
They're
yeah.
so valuable to
Oh
our
yeah.
to our life, and most people get off and when we talk about the minimalist lifestyle and stuff like that, and people go off in this corporate world and just, here I am, let me sacrifice everything I have, and then at the end of the day, when their health deteriorating and time is limited, you say, man, I wish I would have spent more time with family. I
Yeah.
wish I would have built happier, better relationships instead of giving my life to chasing this. You want a better life, but you don't want to give your whole life to building this company. You don't want the company to work for you. So I think these are very, very valuable tips, and to for us to follow as well, because this is what we follow too with our business endeavor. So we just want everybody else to kind of listen and put notes out there, something that you want to add to it. So would you end with the F6 goals?
Well, I would end with staying motivated,
Staying motivated. Okay.
because it gets hard. It's not easy. As you keep going, because sometimes you're waking up at certain hours because you gotta get something done,
Yeah.
and it's not easy. And so doing all this stuff can get demotivating, and so you want to stay motivated. And the way to do that is you want to listen to something motivational every day.
Yeah.
I sometimes forget about it. Sometimes I don't listen to motivational stuff, and then later on I realize, like,
Yeah.
I don't feel that good right now. So
Yeah.
gotta listen to a little bit of
Yeah.
motivational stuff every day. That really
Yeah.
helps. That Zig Ziglar says that motivation is like bathing. He recommends doing it every day.
Every day. That's so true. Just to share a quick example of that, me and my wife was watching a documentary, The Magic Pill. If you haven't seen it, please go watch that. Great documentary. And we're watching it, and I didn't notice at the time as we was watching it that I was being real negative. Like I wasn't being motivated. I wasn't being inspired. My energy was really bad. And my wife said, Sean, you never really, this is different. Why do you think this is so hard? Like, and it goes back to the stuff that I was building myself up with to kind of stay in that positive, motivative state. I wasn't listening to my motivational speaking every day. I wasn't building myself up. So when we watched that documentary, and I was just so like, there's no way I'm going to be able to cut out these carbs. I was just so negative, and she called me out on it like, that don't sound like you. Usually we watch these documentaries and we be pumped to start the journey, no matter how tough it was. And so it's literally like bathing. Every day you have to apply some of it to your life. And that was a prime example of me not building myself up and being in one of those negative ruts.
Yeah, and one more thing, and this is, might come across as a little negative, and so I really want to, but it did need to be stated. You're going at this alone. People gonna stand by and try to push you on and motivate you all the time. Sometimes people gonna tell you to quit. Like so many times in the beginning, the first 2 years, people from my church, they were telling me like, why don't you just quit and get a regular job again? I was like, no. No. People aren't gonna believe in you, especially when you're like having to, at a point I had to live in my car. Mm-hmm. Because I'd made certain decisions, and it's low, like, if they know about it, and I was like, man, why don't you just do this? Because not everybody's gonna believe in you and your ideas and your dreams and stuff. And but just so you know, it's like you're gonna go at this alone. Later on, when things are getting better, people might jump on and it might get easier because they're like, you believe in this, so because you believe in this, we believe in this. Mm-hmm. And so that helps with motivation later on and people being on your side. But at first, not everybody's be on your side. Yeah. Nobody is gonna tell you, hey, quit your job and go do something that might not work. Yeah. Nobody, is like, right? Yeah. Would you just like, is that good advice? You go and quit your job and just go do something that might not work out, right?
It's crazy. Motivated. It's got to stay motivated, man. This was real. This was real informative. I hope my listeners got something out of this. I'll definitely list all these steps, all these points that we put out. The website for filing, if you want to file your business. The F6 goals, I'm definitely going to put those out because that's the most important point of this whole podcast, really. And I'm excited to see what sparks out of this, people starting businesses, starting companies, and just believing in themselves and saying, you know what, like we say, not being scared to fail and just going out there and just trying. That's all it is just putting your best foot forward, trying. And
as you do this, you got this ideas of what you want to maybe do and stuff like that. The moment you've made the decision, because it all comes down to a decision, but the moment you've made a decision, I'm going to do this, then the information is going to come easy. You'll find people that has done it before. You'll talk to people. Maybe there will not be no people, but you'll find it on the internet. All the information is really like in your phone. Yeah. Like it's in your pocket. You just gotta decide, I'm gonna do it, and then reach in your pocket and do it.
And do it, yeah. Yeah. Reverse the time. I was a big gamer. Remember, in the beginning, I was a big gamer. So it's really just like flipping your time. If you putting your time into what was that you used to say? You putting your time into something that has no reward, no payback. It was some word that you would say, but start investing it into something that has a bigger reward, has a big upside that's going to help you in the future. So if you just really, like you say, time management is definitely one of the keys in there. And just go for it. Just go for it. No more being scared. And like you say with the job, just ordinary and boring. Nobody wants to be that anymore. Nobody wants to work their whole lives away and have nothing to show for it, but maybe just saying, I worked at the same company for 30 years.
Yeah, and I talked to my landlord the other day, and he's pretty well off financially. Mm-hmm. And so I asked him, he's like, I'm going to retire next year. And I was like, oh, great. What are you going to do? He's like, he's going to do like traveling. Or I was like, are you going to get more properties? Because he has a couple of properties. I said, no, I want to travel. I've been waiting my whole life. I've been putting this off my whole life. Yeah. And it's like, you've been putting this part, the part that you really want to do off your whole life. Your whole life. For 60 years.
And he's 60?
Yeah. For 60 years, or I think he's a little older, but lots of people do that. They go for a job because they want a big house. That's where the minimalism comes in. Yeah. It's like they want a big house, they want a big car, they want big stuff, and then they don't get to go places because they're stuck in this
Paying,
job trying to
yeah.
pay these bills over here, and they do it for their whole life. Then they got a little bit of savings, and then they go, like, where's the fun in
Fun
that?
in that, yeah. You barely, you walking around with a cane. You barely, you barely standing, but that's part of the getting, getting our message out there, getting this positive stuff out there, just getting a way of thinking out there, because I know I didn't think like this, you know what I'm saying? And it had to take you and other people to kind of positive people around me to pour into my life and drop these jewels. So I feel like it's our responsibility to do the same for the people that may not have the advantage of being around positive people, getting this positive energy. So I feel like it's you dump into somebody, you dump back out to the world, and try to just keep the positive energy going. So
Yeah, and business is good.
yeah,
Business is good. It's a good idea to start a business because, end of the day, you'll be earning more money. Or let's say you're not earning more money. You just created another avenue of income to
income,
come from
yeah,
to flow through you, and so now this money can help to pay for in somebody else's business, and that helps their family, and so you just created more money
yeah,
just by doing something. So you're the creator of something. So um, you made something, and now this money that's coming out of it, or just you're doing it, and then your kids look up to you and it's like, oh wow, my dad started a business.
yeah.
Oh wow, my dad failed at a business, but at least my dad started.
Started,
You
yeah,
know, or like just like that. If you don't do it, then you will never know.
you'll never know.
And only thing is that you gotta lose, Sean, is what do you gotta lose?
Nothing.
Just time.
And then the worst comes to worst, you go and you get another job, build yourself back up till you can try again. Like,
Yeah,
you
or
know,
you tried it and you're like, you know what, business isn't for me. I'm just happy to just work for somebody else
yeah,
and do this thing over here. But then you know.
yeah, then you know. At least you'll know. At least you'll try it, failed it, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. But at least you'll take the initiative to try it and know this isn't for me. So this was great. This was awesome. I'm so grateful, John. Took your time out your busy day. I know you got a client to go see, business talk. So I'm grateful for that. I just want to take the time to thank my listeners again for sticking around and listening. Hopefully you made it through the whole podcast. Like I say, we do have a sponsor, so information is down below for you to take advantage of that. And I'm gonna put your information as well. So if anybody's needing any bathroom repairs or remodeling, very upscale remodeling, JohnCarterBathrooms.com is the place that you want to go. Is the man that you want to see. So I'm gonna sign off with that. If you got anything else you want to tell the listeners,
No, it's good. I just wanna just tell you guys good luck. Uh, just do it. Take a risk. Look into something. Sean, maybe you can finish off with this. How many hours did you spend a week playing video games?
we totaled it up. It was just say it was a lot of money being left on the table.
Yeah, it was something. It was something like if he devoted that time and he just did overtime at his company, for example, he would earn an additional 15 grand a year or something like that. So for all the video gamers out there, look, if that's fun for you, great. But think about how much time you're using that, and how many people are benefiting from that, and ask yourself, how is my future benefiting from spending so much time, playing a video game?
Yeah.
And then and think about it. Maybe you could use that time in a different way that will benefit you more.
Benefit you more. Unless you're a paid gamer. Shout out to all the paid gamers out there that made a lifestyle
Do
traveling
you know a
around
paid
the
gamer?
world. Yeah, it's a lot of them that
You know what?
I'm not one. But shout out to all the paid gamers that travels and get to play the game early. So, but they took what they love and made it into something. So not everybody can do that. So don't put all your hours into gaming if it's not putting money into your pocket. So
Yeah, if it's money going out of your pocket all the time for it, it's a hobby. Hobbies are pastimes, and they don't really get you anywhere. They're just pastime, and maybe you get better at a skill. I want to talk against hobbyists. It's good to have hobbies, but doing a business is the thing that actually makes money for you. So
Yeah.
if you love doing something and it's gaming, for example, do it in such a way that you're actually gonna make money out of it, then it's worth your future
It's worth
time.
it, yeah. Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Life Music and Everything Else. I am your host, Sin. I stumbled over the intro a little bit, but it's okay. This is my special guest, John Carter, and we're grateful for everyone that checked us out. All right? God bless.
Goodbye.